Hi, my name is Craig Weedon, and I'm a sophomore accounting major here at the University of Delaware. The person that I chose for my obscure but phenomenal moment in African American history is the greatest basketball player in NBA history. This man won many NBA championships, made many All-Star teams, and won multiple MVP awards. Considered one of the best defensive players of all time, this man was the centerpiece of the greatest NBA dynasty. And no, this man is not named Michael Jordan, but he goes by the name of Bill Russell, who is the most underappreciated basketball legend of all time. On the court, his resume matches up with anyone, but off the court, his resume is nearly unmatched. William Felton Russell was born on February 12, 1934 in Monroe, Louisiana, to his parents Charles and Katie Russell. Bill was the youngest, as he had an older brother named Charlie L. Russell. The town of Monroe was racially segregated, which led to Russell and his family dealing with racism every day. Wanting to have a better and safer life for his family, Charles Russell moved his family to Oakland, California when Bill was 8 years old. When he reached high school, Russell sought to try out for the McClemens High School basketball team. Russell had the size and speed to play, but he was considered a raw player. He did not fully understand the game and how to utilize his full abilities. However, Russell made the team with his role as a bench player. His coach, George Pals, believed in Russell, trusting that he had the skill set to become a great player. After a couple of years as a role player, Russell became this team's star player during his senior season. After not initially receiving any Division I offers, a recruiter from the University of San Francisco named Hal DiJulio watched Russell play. He was impressed with Russell's scoring abilities as well as his overall instincts for the game. DiJulio offered Russell a full scholarship to the University of San Francisco, which Russell accepted. At the University of San Francisco, Russell developed into the star player that he was destined to become. In 3 seasons there, Russell averaged 20.7 points and 20.3 rebounds per game, becoming an outstanding defensive player. Russell led the Dons to 56 consecutive victories, including back-to-back NCAA championships, where Russell won the tournament MVP in 1955. Russell began to show off his talents off the court, too, which included dominating track and field. After dominating college basketball, Russell began to prepare for the next stage of his life, the NBA. Russell graduated in 1956 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. During the same year, Russell married his college sweetheart, Rosie Swisher, and entered the NBA draft. After being passed on by the Rochester Royals with the first overall pick, the Boston Celtics selected Russell with the second overall pick. Celtics coach Red Auerbach wanted to select Russell so badly that he traded up with the St. Louis Hawks to get the second overall pick. Along with Russell, the Celtics also drafted Casey Jones in the second round. Jones was teammates with Russell at the University of San Francisco, and the two became very good friends. After winning a gold medal at the Melbourne Games with the United States Olympic basketball team in November of 1956, Russell would play his first NBA game on December 22, 1956, against the team that passed up on him, the St. Louis Hawks. Russell and the Celtics won narrowly 95-93, where Russell immediately showed the impact he had on defense, finishing with 16 rebounds. During his rookie season, Russell and the Celtics finished as the first seed in the Eastern Conference and would make the NBA Finals. In the Finals, Russell would go against the team that traded their pick to Boston, the St. Louis Hawks. The Celtics won a thrilling 7-game series, and Russell played a pivotal role as he averaged 14.7 points per game and 19.6 rebounds per game. Over his 13 seasons in the NBA, Bill Russell would go to 12 NBA Finals with the Boston Celtics, winning 11 of them. Russell is known as the most victorious player in NBA history, as no other player comes close to winning the amount of championships that he won. It truly shows the impact that Russell had on the Celtics, becoming the centerpiece of their offense and defense. After leading the Celtics to an 8th consecutive NBA championship in 1966, Bill Russell took over as head coach of the Boston Celtics. Russell would now coach the Celtics while also playing for them. This made Bill Russell the first African American coach in NBA history, which is an extraordinary accomplishment. Not only was he the first African American coach in NBA history, but he was also the first African American coach in professional sports history. Russell's amazing accomplishment of becoming the first African American coach in professional sports history has led to many other African Americans becoming successful coaches. Examples include Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, Philadelphia 76ers coach Doc Rivers, and NFL Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. All three of these Hall of Fame level coaches, along with many more African American professional sports coaches, have Bill Russell to be thankful for. As a coach, Russell won 2 NBA championships with the Celtics, and he eventually retired in 1969. After a 4-year break, Russell came back to coaching in 1973 and was hired by the Seattle Supersonics. After coaching them for 4 years, Russell coached his last time with the Sacramento Kings in 1987. Russell's accomplishments as a player and coach match up against anybody in NBA history. Bill Russell, in his 13 seasons in the NBA, was a 12-time All-Star, 5-time regular season MVP, 3-time All-NBA First Team, 8-time All-NBA Second Team, and a 4-time league leader in rebounds per game. He was also elected to the All-Defensive First Team in 1968 and was awarded the All-Star Game MVP in 1963. During his playing career, Russell was an NBA superstar during an era where Jim Crow laws existed. Russell was really considered the first African-American superstar NBA player. Traveling around the United States, Russell witnessed and experienced many racist incidents. One time in 1961, an incident occurred when several African-American players on the Celtics were refused service at a coffee shop of a Phoenix hotel in Lexington, Kentucky. As a result, Russell led a protest with African-American players from the Celtics and their opponent, the St. Louis Hawks, and they agreed to boycott the game. Although Russell and other players boycotted the game was still played. Moving forward, Russell made it very clear that he would never play anywhere that treated him disrespectfully. Nearly 60 years later, a boycott happened again in the NBA. While playing in the bubble in Disney World during the 2020 playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks refused to play in their playoff game in response to the shooting of Jacob Blake. All the teams agreed to not play, and the NBA decided to postpone all of the playoff game. This goes to show the effect that Russell's boycott had on the NBA, as the NBA players today continue to follow Russell's actions, even 60 years later. Russell was very active when it came to raising awareness on racism and social issues. Russell joined Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the March in Washington, taking part of the Civil Rights Movement. Bill Russell was also one of the few athletes to take part in the Cleveland Summit, which occurred on June 4, 1967. This happened when Muhammad Ali announced that he was refusing to serve in Vietnam. Ali was joined by a small group of African American athletes, including Bill Russell, Jim Brown, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Once again, Bill Russell used his superstar status to help raise awareness on social issues that he cared about. In 2011, President Barack Obama awarded Russell with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Obama said that he hopes the Boston children not only learn about just Bill Russell the player, but Bill Russell the man. Bill Russell was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1975. In 2009, Russell had the NBA Finals MVP named after him in his honor. Today, Bill Russell is currently retired at 87 years young. He rarely makes public appearances, but he has been seen recently doing several of the NBA award shows. He is currently married to Janine Russell and is survived by his 3 children, Jacob Russell, Karen Russell, and William Russell. He was the centerpiece of the greatest NBA dynasty of all time and is widely considered the greatest defensive player in NBA history. He overcame adversity throughout his entire life, dealing with his mother's death at a young age, experiencing racism, and fighting social injustice issues. He became the first African-American sports superstar, the first African-American NBA coach, the first African-American professional sports coach, and was a part of the first African-American starting 5 in NBA history. He used his superstar status to help raise awareness towards racial injustice issues. Bill Russell is an obscure but phenomenal person, and his life will forever be rooted in African-American history.